Our Buy Brandon campaign is a way for the chamber to put some excitement into our residents and our community about how important it is to spend your dollars here in Brandon.
The Buy Brandon campaign is very important for the city of Brandon. Here in South Dakota, most cities rely heavily on sales tax, much more than in other states. Without sales tax, we wouldn't be able to operate. You wouldn't have people plowing your snow. You wouldn't have a police department. You wouldn't have parks or park improvements. So it is essential that people buy in town. The more you buy in town, the more local sales tax comes into our coffers, the more things that we can do to improve your quality of life in Brandon.
Last year's Buy Brandon campaign went excellent. We did really good with the sales tax revenue, which now this year we get to reap the rewards of everyone buying Brandon.
Sales tax revenue was a little over $3.3 million last year. It was an increase over the previous year, and we have continually increased each year. We use that money for park improvements such as the Sunrise Playground surfacing, the transit bus system. Last year we did also buy a new bus. Our original bus was getting aged and old. We also use that for debt service and some equipment for different departments. With the money we bought a plow truck, which helps plow our streets in the winter months, and we also bought a loader.
One of the upsides to closing the pool this summer is we planned on doing a $1.6 million renovation down at the pool to include a new kiddie pool, some play features in the pool, as well as upgrading some equipment, expanding some of the lounge areas.
The Chamber's $5 challenge goes hand in hand with buying Brandon. It's as simple as just making it a priority to spend $5 a week right here in Brandon. By spending $5 extra a week, it does make a huge impact in our community. If you live in Brandon, like myself and my family do, I challenge you to make it a priority to spend your dollars right here in our community.
From Brandon Valley High School here in Brandon, South Dakota, it is time for Lynx Football right here on Lynx TV. Good evening, everybody. Enter Sandman playing. I don't know if you can quite hear it on the on our broadcast, but the Lynx are about to take the field. The Lynx coming in, I think, ranked somewhere around second. Every place is different, but they've got their hands full tonight taking on a tough Lincoln Patriots team. Ken, the last time we were here, offense looked unbelievable. Didn't really even need to throw a pass. Defense broke a couple times. And this is a really good opportunity because the Lynx didn't play last week. This is a good opportunity for the Lynx defense to get well rested and get ready for a really tough matchup with Tommy Thompson and the Sioux Falls Lincoln offense.
Well, and to go back to where you talked about, Kyle, about the rankings, I actually did some homework a little bit this week. Hey, so you got Roosevelt sitting at number 1 at 5-0. Okay, number 2 is Harrisburg at 4-1.
Wow.
3 is Lincoln at 3-1 by almost just a point.
The disrespect.
Brandon Valley, and now it goes to strength of schedule too, and then Brandon Valley sitting at 3-1 at number 4. Watertown right behind them at number 5 at 3-2. And to touch on the matchup is huge as we sit in the middle part of the season, even going into the second part of the season now, the second half of the season. And so you have a matchup on your home field the last 2 games, and we're gonna get with the national anthem here, but the last 2 games, the Lynx have outscored their opponent 103-33. Mm-hmm. And so that was at Aberdeen Central and then Rapid City Central here, and we saw that score. So we're about to have your national anthem here in just a moment.
Ladies and gentlemen, the communities that make up the Brandon Valley School District would like to welcome you to Brandon Valley High School and to Lynx Football. Tonight's AAA 11-man football game features our guests this evening, the Patriots of Sioux Falls Lincoln High School against our Brandon Valley Lynx. The presentation of our colors are being performed tonight by the color guard members of the Brandon VFW Post 4726. Brandon American Legion Post 318, and the Valley Springs American Legion Post 131. The privilege of this game is made possible by those who have fought and continue to fight for our freedoms we enjoy. God bless our veterans and active military and all they do for our nation and our local communities. Would you please rise for the playing of our national anthem? Proper etiquette is to remove all headwear. Face the flag and put your hand over your heart. Active duty military personnel or veterans not in uniform may salute the flag. Playing our national anthem will be the Brandon Valley trumpet line under the direction of Abby Christensen. Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem.
So number 3 Lincoln taking on number 4 Brandon Valley, but it's tight up at the top. There's no doubt about that.
It is with points. The system goes on your strength of schedule, and that's how you gain the points, and so that's how it all buried out. And this is according to the South Dakota High School Association website. So they put the rankings down. Now, jumping back, Kyle, to that, the Lynx have outscored their opponents 103-33 in the last 2 games. Lincoln's also went 2-0, okay, in their last 2 games, and they beat Washington 41-0 a few weeks ago, and then they beat O'Gorman 17-7, and so they're well-tested teams. I believe Lincoln has played all 3 Metro teams in Roosevelt, which they lost to. O'Gorman they won, and they beat Washington. So they're well-tested. This is our 3rd matchup in what they call the Metro, losing to Roosevelt, and we're talking about our Lynx, and O'Gorman winning here on our home field against O'Gorman. So both battle-tested teams. It is, like we talked about, coming into the second half of the season. You look at it, a 3-phase season. First phase is gone. You ended up 3-1. And we didn't have the game last week because of the unfortunate situation up in Watertown. And Lincoln had the same thing play out for them. They're down 1 game because of stuff that's happened off the field, and as we know is we call COVID. So so they're both like I said, they're both well versed, well matched. This is gonna be a game. I think the points, if you win, if there was a point on this, I think you favor Brandon Valley by 3 because of home. But we'll see. We'll see how the matchups play out. Joe Colbeck's back.
Yeah.
This will be his 2nd game. We saw him, or his 3rd game. Sorry.
Yep.
We saw him against Rapid City Central. He looked really well against them at quarterback. You always have Tate Johnson. Tate Johnson's always going to run the ball well. They'll feed him a lot, and then you have Jackson Hilton, you have Skolton at wide receiver. And then defensively, I think that's where the test is going to be, okay? Defensively for the Lynx. Coming off a kind of a shaky, we talked about that, shaky performance against Rapid City Central. We were here, and we broadcasted that live to you folks. How does that defense get back and against a really, really strong offense? You talked about Tommy Thompson, the quarterback for Lincoln.
Lynx win the toss. They defer, so they're going to receive in the second half. They're going to kick off here. And for Sioux Falls Lincoln, looks like Logan Needles is back to receive. Here we go. Off we go from Brandon Valley. This is a kick that's going to go into the end zone for a touchback. So we're going to feast our eyes on quarterback Tommy Thompson for the first time. And he has been impressive, and he's been a big reason. Just 2 years ago, Sioux Falls Lincoln and head coach Jared Fredenberg were 2-7, and they've certainly turned it around after a decent season last year, but they are riding high with Thompson and a bevy of other very talented players. So good job for them. He's going to throw it on first down. He's going to go deep on first down. Got some separation, but the pass is just short and incomplete, intended for Robert Hutchinson.
And Kyle, that's all predicated on the blitz. The blitz came off the edge there, made Thompson throw the ball early on that before he wanted to. And you could, as you can see, their offense is going to go a no huddle, call from the sideline from the coaching staff, and it's going to be a spread offense all night.
Isaiah Robinson in the backfield. And actually it's Robinson that came on the motion, and they're going to try to run the option, and it's not going to work well at all. A loss of 1 on the play. And that looked like it might have been Damian Shunke in there, number 33. But this is a defense that's, like we said, they've really got to step up in this game.
And one thing, folks that I talked to after the last game a couple weeks ago was, why not have Jackson Hilton out there? It looks like he's going to come down at third down on defense here at corner for the Lynx.
Saw him at Sunshine yesterday. He said he was ready to go. Here comes the pressure, and down goes Thompson. Big sack back at the 15-yard line.
Well, here's one thing, as you can see from Coach Christensen, what he's going to do defensively tonight, and I hope he stays to that form, is he's going to bring a ton of heat against that quarterback. There was at least 2 blitzers coming off the edge there. So you match up on that offensive line. When they spread out, you only have 5 offensive linemen. You don't have a tight end. If you mismatch them with bring 6, all of a sudden you're outmanning the offensive line.
Ryan Dahl was in there on the sack. And a return here, that's Noah Thompson. Check that. That's number 34, Peyton Egan. And there is a flag down. That snap was very high. And I think the Patriots are just lucky they got that one away. But the Lynx are going to be backed up a little bit. Looks to be a holding penalty.
And so what I was talking about, Coach Christensen, when Lincoln spreads it out like that, you only have 5 offensive linemen. That's all you have into their block, and maybe a running back, okay? You have 4 receivers all the time.
Yeah.
Coach Christensen has said, okay, we're not going to let Tommy beat us. We're going to put pressure on him, and that's what it looks like in the first series, and the defense won that first series.
Somebody who's had really no pressure on him so far has been Joel Kolbeck and the rest of this offense. They have looked really strong, and now they're going to run the option. Now Kolbeck's thinking about throwing, and he ends up running for a gain of about 2 yards. The Lynx, in their last game, maybe threw the ball, I'd say less than 10 times during the whole game. They ran it right down Rapid City Central's throat, and they were able to do so effectively. Probably not going to happen like that this game.
Right, and we saw the same play mirrored what Lincoln just ran. Brandon Valley just ran the same thing.
They sure did. I formation, that's Vegans. Heading to the left of your screen at the tight end position. Now they're just going to give it to Johnson. And he's going to push forward for a decent run again of 2. It's going to be 3rd and 5 coming up from the 44-yard line. So the holes are not quite as big as they were a couple of weeks ago against a very, very much improved Lincoln Patriots defense.
And the Lincoln Patriots defense given up only 7, the last 2 games given up 7 points combined to Washington and O'Gorman.
It's impressive. 3rd down and 5. Kolbeck's going to roll to the right, and he's going to throw it, and the pass is incomplete. They tried to get it to Jackson Hilton. The pass looked short, and the Lynx will have to punt a 3-and-out, a rare 3-and-out for this Lynx offense.
Well, and that's a learning situation for Joe Kolbeck. He wasn't under pressure. You see how he forced that throw, an early throw to that? Mm-hmm. He needs to set his feet and not throw on the run. He needs to get outside the pocket, set his feet, get a good throw under it, get his legs under it, and you could see that a lot of times when the balls go to the ground or the turf, their legs aren't under them.
Fair catch. Ball is free, and the Lynx pick it up. Peyton Carroll has the football for Brandon Valley, and a big turnover to start this game puts the Lynx at the 25-yard line.
Win the turnover battle. Special teams already playing a massive role in this first quarter as Isaiah Robinson just something happened. That's a senior. That's the senior running back. You assume that he's taken a ton of punts in his life, and that's just a mistake.
And special teams in the couple of broadcasts that we've done this year have loomed very large. 1st down and 10, I formation. Play fake. Pressure coming from Kolbeck's blind side. He's going to throw it to the end zone, and the pass is incomplete. And they're going to say there was just some foot fighting going on.
Well, the fans aren't going to like it, but it was uncatchable, okay? He wasn't going to catch that in the back. Outside the back of the end zone.
No.
You can call it interference, but they really locked legs. There was no hand checking or anything, and you really can't call it. And plus, like I just said, it was uncatchable. He wasn't going to catch that ball.
No way. It sailed a little bit. So Kolbeck starts 0 for 2 in this game. We don't have stats with us right now, but we'll do our best. From the 15-yard line, number 15, Vegans in motion. Now the ball, the snap has gone awry, and we'll see who falls on it. And Colbeck does pick it up, but a clunky start for both teams here.
And both teams, coming off of, I wouldn't say a bye, okay, just not a game. They didn't have a game. And so both teams are defensively, though, they're both, staying true they are. They're coming out strong. But offensively, they are both sputtering at this point.
Well, just 3 minutes into this game, Kyle Roque, Ken McCune here with you. Now the Lynx are going to spread it out. 4 wide receivers set. It's Hilton at the bottom of your screen. He's the only receiver there. And they're going to throw it to him. They're going deep right side for Hilton, and the pass is incomplete. No flags. There was a little bit of contact, but just like we said on the last one, that's not enough to draw a penalty. A good throw from Colbeck, but it will be 4th down.
Yeah, that's just, it may be a little bit of holding on the DB, but the back judge is not going to call that. There wasn't enough there, like you said, Kyle. But interesting here, and I like the call by Coach Garrow, is they're going to go for it on 4th down.
Well, you're stuck in no man's land here. At the 26-yard line, you're looking at a 43-yard field goal, and the Lynx are going to think about it here. You can't punt, and it is 4th and 11, so you're really stuck in purgatory here.
And I do like the timeout, too. I like both the calls by Coach Garrow to go for it on 4th down, but I like the timeout because the big thing is that you got to take advantage of turnovers. You want to put points on the board off a turnover. You don't want to waste those turnovers. And what I'm saying by the Lynx getting the turnover. And so Coach Garrow is going to try to make sure that he gets points over this 1st down here, especially on this play. But this drive, get points on the board. Like I said, you do not waste turnovers at all.
Nope.
That can come back and bite you big time later in the game if you do waste those opportunities.
So we'll see what they dial up here. Field goal is a little bit out of the question. And the Lynx are still in the huddle with 9 minutes to go. Our first quarter, we'd like to thank our anchor sponsors of Eric Medical Group McGreevy here in Brandon, along with Sanford Clinic Family Medicine in Brandon, Service First FCU, Federal Credit Union, and Sanford Orthopedics. So we thank you to our anchor sponsors. You'll get to know more of our sponsors later in this broadcast. We don't have the scripts anymore. That makes me really sad. 4th and 11. Colbeck throwing it. Great throw. Pass is caught for a 1st down. They moved the sticks, and it was Peyton Carroll on the catch. That is a big-time throw from Colbeck to move the chains.
We saw number 80 come onto the scene 2 weeks ago. Remember, he had some big catches in that game against Rapid City Central. Now you found that 4th, 5th weapon on offense. This offense can be super deadly going into the second half of the season.
Well, and their biggest weapon, Tate Johnson's only touched the ball once so far in this game. 1st down and 10. They're going to give it to him here. And he is crunched in the backfield. A couple of Sioux Falls Lincoln players, including Jackson Gertz, gets in there. And they're going to lose a yard on the play.
Well, that's really, really strong run defense by the Patriots. And that's going to be their focal point. Maybe they want to eliminate Tate Johnson. There hasn't been a lot of teams do that in 3 years. And so what other players are going to step up? That's going to be the key to it. You have a Jackson Hilton. You have a Vegans from the tight end position. Joe Colbeck can run. We all know that.
Well, Vegans has been very quiet this year on a delay. Johnson breaking a tackle, heading to the pylon. Is he in? Yes, sir, he is. Touchdown, Brandon Valley.
And as soon as we say they're going to try to bottle him up, he gets out of the bottle and he catches the ball, runs the ball into the end zone. So that's a huge, huge momentum. And that comes off of that, Kyle. That comes off of that timeout.
Yeah.
The choice that Coach Garrow and his staff made to make sure they capitalize on the turnover is huge in this first quarter of this big, both teams being at 3-1, sitting in the middle of the pack there in 11 AAA.
Well, you talk about it. Extra point is good. Well, you talk about it. It's not only about winning the turnover battle as in getting more turnovers than the other team. It is what you do with them when you get them. And they had their backs up against the wall a little bit. It was 4th and 11. It wasn't looking so good. But good teams make big plays at the right time. And maybe it took a little extra time on this one. But Joe Colbeck and the Lynx do get the money.
Well, I compare it to baseball. You can use the analogy in baseball as when you have runners on base, okay, offensively.
Twins wouldn't know anything about that.
Don't waste them.
Yeah.
Don't wait if you get an error by the defensively and you're on your offensive side of the ball in baseball. Don't waste those opportunities. Never waste them. Always be aggressive. And that's what that coaching staff was just doing there, is being aggressive, and I love that out of the coaching staff.
And it puts all the pressure, as you said. That's what it's about in baseball, putting pressure on them, just like the Twins did against Zach Greinke. They load the bases in the first inning, and they end up winning the game. Oh, wait a minute. No, they didn't end up winning that game, did they?
Didn't.
We talked about it a little bit before the broadcast, and it was just disgust. But so far, so good here, and this is the only one we really care about. If you're a Minnesota sports fan living in Brandon, South Dakota, the Lynx are really the only team you got left.
It's getting that close, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah. Well, you got the Gophers still if you're a Gopher fan, but
Yeah, we'll see how that all plays out in the
Yeah.
Big Ten season. It's going to be a tricky situation there, but we have a 7-0 ball game here. We talked about the standings, and we're going to have to go fast when we talk here because Lincoln comes from the sideline. They don't huddle. They go right to the line.
1st and 10 for Sioux Falls Lincoln, and they're going to hand it off this time, and a good-looking run by Isaiah Robinson. And they're, like you said, they're moving quickly here. No wonder they score so many points.
Yeah, they don't waste any time.
They're going to run it again. Not this time. He's going to be stopped in the backfield, and it's Peyton Egan again, who's had a good first quarter here.
And offensively, what that does to the defense, it doesn't allow subbing. The defense is going to have to stay where they're at.
2nd down and 9. Thompson going deep, got his man, and a beautiful defensive play as the pass is called incomplete. Mark Muchkanaus with great coverage to close on that one.
That's a big-time play by, I believe, a senior. It is.
Mm-hmm.
We've called his name for a couple of years now.
Punt returner a couple years ago. And he's turned himself into a good ball player.
Right. Lincoln's going to go right back to work on 3rd down here.
Starting to lose my breath here. 3rd down and 9. Thompson fires, and it's caught. And it's caught by number 2, Logan Needles, but he is not going to get there.
So defensively, what they always say is make everything the play in front of the sticks, and what they mean by the down markers on the field. And that was just a great tackle as they tried to do an underneath route, a crossing route, to mix up with the linebackers, and that was just a great tackle by the Lynx.
Well, there's a couple of Lincoln coaches next to us up in the booth, and I don't think they're very happy about them having to punt here. You're at 4th and 4, but you're in dangerous territory if you don't get it. So, I mean, it's really the only choice you have. But the Lynx are going to get it back, and they just about get a block, but this is a bad punt. But it does take a nice Lincoln bounce, and it's going to bounce back to the 32-yard line, and that's where Brandon Valley is going to get the ball. And this is a really, really important drive for the Lynx. You know, you talk about we're only midway through the first quarter, but if the Lynx want to put some real pressure on Sioux Falls Lincoln right now, this is their opportunity to do it because you're not going to get Lincoln to punt too often.
Right, especially with that offense. And we're seeing at the bottom of our screen, I saw on Facebook, Coach Christensen. We'll talk about that after the play here.
We'll have some time between plays when Brandon Valley has the ball.
I hope so.
Hate to talk smack about Lincoln. Of course, that's not smack. They're a hurry-up offensive team. Man in motion and an end around. Going to get a few yards there on the run from Peyton Egan, who we talked about a few weeks ago. Is a very, very talented young man.
They're starting to use him offensively, and that's good. He has a lot of speed. I saw on Coach Christensen's Facebook page that Brandon Valley got a new volunteer coach, assistant coach, in Lorenzo Williams. And I believe he played at SDSU. I thought I saw that from Coach Christensen. So he's going to be the defensive backs coach, and that's a good addition. I just saw him with the defense down here, talking to the defense, and that reminded me of it.
Yeah, welcome to the family. We're just as good as coaches up here. We coach them up here.
We are. We should have a headset. We should be dialing down.
Yeah, maybe not me.
No, you would be great.
I don't know. I fake a lot of this, just so you know. No, that's going to be offsides or encroachment, pretty much the same thing, on Lincoln. So that's going to move Brandon Valley up to 2nd and 4.
And that will open up the playbook for the offensive staff for the Lynx, as you always want 2nd and 4.
Oh, yeah, 2nd and 4. Play fake. Colbeck fires a strike, but it is, again, too low. He didn't have a lot of space to get that pass in there to Peyton Carroll. And it was Johnny Cooper on the coverage for Lincoln.
And if I'm talking to Joe when he comes back to the sideline, and even Joe Colbeck, I mean, their quarterback at any time tonight is set your feet. Don't throw off one foot. Set your feet and let it go. And a lot of times, really good athletes want to continue just to fly.
Yeah.
And I get it. It's hard to slow them down a little bit, but that's the maturity of a quarterback. They have to slow it down.
Well, he has some mustard on the fastball as the pitch to the left side for Johnson does not work.
But there is a flag.
Well,
but it's going to be illegal motion or illegal formation on the Lynx. And so I believe Lincoln will
decline this one.
Decline it.
Yeah.
We'll see.
So it is an illegal motion penalty.
Yeah, you could see that one of the Lynx players was still going in motion, and you have to set. You can't. It's not arena football where you can just keep on running.
Yeah. So the Lynx will punt it away here. Another 3 and out. Second 3 and out of the day for Brandon Valley. Took advantage of a short field, make it 7-0. Although punted away, it's been a tough day so far for punt returner Isaiah Robinson, who fumbled the last one. He won't have a chance to do it this one. This one's down at the 25-yard line.
Another great punt for your Lynx, as Lincoln's not going to start out with good field position. We got to be ready here, Kyle, now. Remember.
I know.
They sprint. Now, folks, I want you to watch this. Watch. Here they come. Here comes the offense.
Right to the line of scrimmage.
Yep. And they don't allow you to set at all. You better be set defensively.
So first down for Tommy Thompson, who has had some good throws today, but the Lynx defense has been up to the task. They hand it off to Robinson to the right side, and he's going to be stopped for no gain. It looked like Warren was in there on the stop.
Lynx defense playing really, really good in this first quarter against a high-powered offense. Watch out for that tight end, number 15, Luke Smith. He is 6'3", 200 pounds, down at the bottom of the screen.
Thompson's going to take off and run with it, and he is going to be able to pick up a first down as he gets to the 35, so chains move. Nice run for him. Boy, he is an all-around athlete. First down and 10 for the Patriots. The 35, they're going to throw it out to Robinson. And Robinson's going to get about 5 yards here. They're going to mark him at the 40.
Now, folks, if you can really hurry up like the Patriots are doing and watch, Brandon Valley defenses bring in pressure constantly, a blitz.
Thompson's going deep. Right side, beautiful throw, incomplete, good defense down that right side, and it looks like it's number 14, Noah Thompson.
And so watch what Lincoln does here. If you're an offensive staff member or calling the plays for the offensive coordinator for Lincoln, you watch a screen pass or something like this coming out of the backfield, because that's where blitzes will get you in trouble defensively. But what they are doing is they watched film from a couple weeks ago of what Rapid City Central did to the Lynx on deep throws.
Pass over the middle is caught for a first down by Logan Needles. And he's able to move the sticks for Lincoln on third down. Big third down conversion. Kyler Breest on the stop. And now we're going to have, I think, a false start penalty here.
So this is going to allow us to breathe. And so what we were talking about is Rapid City Central, a false start on the Patriots, but they picked on us on the deep throws on that far side, remember?
Yep.
Even going this way, if you go right to left on your screen, it was the same thing. And so they watch film, and they're trying to pick on that, but so far, defensively, the defensive backs have done a great job.
Still in the first quarter here with 3.5 to play. Lincoln pushing forward. Here's Robinson. Not much, but a little. On 1st and 15, they'll give him maybe a couple of yards. This was Parker Reed on the bottom of that pile. So he's gotten loose. Well, Robinson's gotten loose once, but he's been held in check for the most part. Second down and 13. He's trying to get the ball back here. They're going to give it to Robinson, and now he's got some space across the 40 to the 35-yard line as Warren gets in there for the stop. But Lincoln is starting to look really good offensively here.
And that's what will happen. That's what will happen on blitzing, too. The linebackers are no longer there in that spot, and they'll run right past the play, and that's where that draw came from, and they exploited it big time.
So first down from the 35. Now this time Thompson's going to run. And he's going to get about 4 yards on that one.
But I still like the defense and Coach Christensen to dial up blitzes constantly. Do not let that quarterback beat you tonight.
Josh Pickthorne on the stop. Second down and 6. Thompson again, and he doesn't have so much luck now. Ryan Dahl in there on the stop for a loss of 3. And a big 3rd and 8 is coming up. And I believe now Lincoln's in 4-down territory.
And now they've moved Ryan Dahl to a linebacker position. You see that. He's no longer at defensive end, so they want him on the field. He's been a big-time player defensively this year.
And linebacker Pickthorne covering the slot. Pass deep over the middle is incomplete. And that is great defensive coverage once again, and this time it was number 3, Sam Skolton, a junior, who gets in there for the stop.
And so great coverage. And that's what they need all night. But that was a rush throw again. There's pressure on Thompson.
And now we got a penalty here on 4th down. I think this is going to go against the Lynx.
I think it's going to be encroachment, but that's what that hurry-up offense does. It makes the defensive line be ultra-aggressive constantly.
And I have to correct myself. I believe that was number 2, Joey Nemec, on the defensive stop on that pass deflection. So I hate to complain, but the numbers for Brandon Valley this year are so small. It's hard to see up here. And, of course, I forgot my binoculars after that big bird watching tour I went on. Here's Thompson on 3rd down. Here comes Warren.
He got the first down.
I think he picked it up.
Yeah, but still, the pressure's there. He's not comfortable. He's not used to running this much constantly. And so I love that they're putting pressure. Even though it's a game, a first down, the pressure's there.
So big 4th down. Ball's tipped up in the air, and it is incomplete. So now both teams have a big fourth down conversion. As we wind down our first quarter here with about 1 minute to go. And this has lived up to the hype so far. This has been a bruiser of a game. 2nd down and 10. Thompson gonna run. Gets across the 20, and he's gonna be tackled at the 15. Owen Warren again on the stop. He's been busy today, very busy.
And those are design draws. That's not the quarterback getting pressure. That's just a design draw by the offense for the quarterback, and it worked. Big 3rd down, as I think this is 4-down territory all the way.
3rd and 1. Robinson. Well, I think he's going to get there for the 1st down. They had him in the backfield at first, and I believe that was number 44, Parker Reed.
The side judge on this side is calling it 4th down. They're going to make it 4th down.
They're going to go 4th down here.
Here's where you bring up almost like a 62 defense against them.
Yep. They're going to clog it. And they're going to run it. Robinson gets the 1st down.
Oh, it's going to be no.
You don't think so?
No, it's going to be close. They're going to have to hold on 1 second. They're going to have. Oh, he's going to call it because the side judge on the bottom of your screen, folks, to your left, it was still unsure if that was a 1st down.
Roki's always sure. Thompson stepping up, going to run it again, and he's tackled at the 5-yard line.
Here's another good opportunity for the coaching staff to call a timeout, okay? You get 3.5, all right? To make sure where they're getting all their chunky yards are from these design draws from Thompson.
Robinson left side, and he's going to be stopped, and it's going to be up to the Lynx defense to get it done, but they're going to be on the other side of the field because that is the end of our first quarter. The Lynx take advantage of a muffed punt. They get the ball at the 25-yard line, and they score, but this has been a defensive battle all game long.
It has, and there's your timeout, okay, for the Lynx defense.
Much needed.
And so defensively, what do you do to stop that draw? You spy, and you make sure you have a spy on that quarterback constantly. And it seems like under the design draw, that design draw in the backfield for the quarterback, Tommy Thompson, is, remember, that offensive line's not pass blocking, they're run blocking, so they got to be stout. You're going to see that again here coming up, as it is 3rd down. You're going to see it coming up here within this red zone in 4 to 5 yards. So how do you defend that? That's where Coach Christensen makes his money, is how are you going to make sure that Tommy's not going to beat you with his legs either? And we've seen on this drive, it's been a lot of his legs.
So we will see. Oh, here you go, Kitten.
Yeah, we'll just grab these. Your founding sponsors are Alliance Communications, Brandon Lumber Company, Brandon Ace Hardware, Brandon Pharmacy, American Family Insurance, Josh Koob Agency Incorporated, Heartland Funeral Home and Cremation Services, Sunshine Foods Store, and Today's Family Dentistry. Thank you all for supporting this wonderful thing we're able to bring you live tonight. I don't know how many people we have viewing. Usually we get that. We'll probably get that in a little bit on YouTube. We can't tell you from Alliance Communications because we just don't have those numbers. But
we're assuming it's close to the hundreds of thousands.
Right.
Very close. 3rd down. Boy, that's some big hitting going on there.
Well, it's about 4th and inches.
Yeah, it's going to be close.
So Lincoln's going to take their time now. As soon as they get into the 5-yard line and to go into the end zone, they really slow everything down. Now we can pause.
Looks like we got over 400 watching on YouTube right now, so thank you very much. 4th and 1. They're going to fake it. Thompson throws wide open, end zone, touchdown, tie game.
We talked about the tight end just a little bit ago, that Luke Smith, 6'3", 200 pounds. Watch him this game. He is a really good tight end, and the state of South Dakota, and he proved it there. They just underneath that route. They run him in motion constantly, and it's a lot of times a run behind him from the running back. That time they just slip him out. That's a great play call. As you can see, he was wide open.
Yep.
By the Patriots staff.
Extra point is good off the foot of number 87, Tate Schaefer. So here we are back to a tie game at 7-7 between two top 5 bruisers.
Yeah, and that bunch, you know, the top 4, there's Roosevelt undefeated, but those next 3 only have 1 loss, so that could be juggled in the second half of the season massively. And watch out for Washington. They may be a player coming into this. We counted them out the first 2 weeks because it was just, wow, that wasn't Washington. But now all of a sudden they're 3-2. The Platinum sponsors are Sanford Health, Sioux Valley Energy, Alliance Communications, Coca-Cola Bottling, and Midco Communications. Your Pride sponsors are Architecture Incorporated, Hinkle Electronic Materials LLC, McDonald's, and Michael's Fence.
So thanks very much to them. Again, I wish we had the scripts. The scripts were always so good, and I used to switch them around a little, and I'd be funny. And
how long have we been doing this now, Kyle?
We've been doing this. 2016 was our first year, so
we're talking 4 years.
This is our 5th.
Yeah, 5th. Yeah, you're right.
No 5-year party, no cake from Randy.
Boy, maybe cupcakes or something.
It's been tough. One of the players for Lincoln was offsides, but they didn't call it. And a nice return here out to the 31-yard line for Brandon Valley.
And so like Kyle said, early in the second quarter, 7-7 ball game between 2 massively good teams in 11 AAA. And now the Lynx offense is going to come onto the field, and now it's their turn. They really have to put a good drive here as the momentum's changed a little bit going Lincoln's way.
First down and 10 for the Lynx. They got trips bunched up at the bottom of your screen, even though they're on the left hash. They're going to give it to Johnson, and he has not had much room at all. He will get to the 34 for a gain of 2. Bloggy on the stop for Lincoln. But there just hasn't been much room for one of the best Lynx running backs we've seen here in ever.
He had that big long run. Well, it wasn't really long. I'd say about 12, 13 yards for the touchdown.
Yep.
But you're right. They've bottled him up big time.
Second down and 8. And Colbeck's going to keep it this time. And Colbeck's got a lot of space. And he's out near midfield. They've been using Peyton Egan in that motion a few times. They gave it to him last time. Colbeck was held on to it this time. We're not sure if that's an option or if that's a designed run, but it works.
Boy, what a great block on the pole there. So that's almost a designed run too. Tommy, the offensive staff for the Lynx. Okay, if you're going to use your quarterback's legs, why don't we use ours a little bit? And that's what just happened. But number 76, Jackson Mullet, the 6'3", 310-pound offensive lineman, a senior. He was leading the way in a big way.
We're trying to get it to Johnson in different ways. They throw it out wide, and that one works pretty well across the 45, and the Lynx are into enemy territory here, looking to add on. I was thinking maybe that they would try to hurry things up here, but the Lynx decide to huddle up. Wickersham checking into the game now.
As we've seen some shuffling going on in the offensive line, we see Isaac Johnson's now in the football game too, number 70. He's a sophomore. He's 6 foot, 280 pounds. So they got some big boys up there at tackle right now.
Well, keeping it fresh, that's for sure. I formation here. Play action, and Colbeck slips and falls. Back on the Brandon Valley side of the field, and you can be tackled at the 48, quote-unquote tackled. The 12th man, the turf, makes the stop.
I'm going to blame it on the red out there.
Yeah, it's
the
different.
Red turf.
It is different.
It is. I'm going to blame that.
Sure.
I mean, why blame Joe? Why not blame the turf?
Yeah. Yeah, it's the turf's fault.
Yeah. So the first big third down and long, I believe, in this first half for the Lynx. Let's see what happens here.
Very persuasive. Third down and 12. Johnson in motion. Colbeck. He's got him open, but he runs out of time. Well, he had Johnson open on the right side of the field, but he just could not wind up and get it done. So now a promising drive stalls, and the Lynx will have to punt it away again because now it's third and about a mile.
Well, that's kind of the inexperience from the quarterback, Joe. This is his first year at quarterback, but he had his first option was Jackson Hilton, and he was doing a little post route, and that would have gained the first down. He was open, so he looked that off, and then Tate Johnson flies open out in the flats. He's open, and we have a muff punt.
Yeah, this is trouble. I'm going to try and get rid of it, and they just throw it incomplete, and that's actually now we're going to have a flag.
It's going to be illegal.
It's going to be a
legal forward pass.
Yeah.
And so that's going to gain more yards.
Ouch.
For Lincoln, because I think that's a spot foul. And they're asking the Lincoln coaching staff, what do you want to do? Well, I would assume you're going to take that.
Yeah, they'll take the ball. So Lincoln had trouble with the snap earlier. They were able to get the ball punted away. And then Lincoln muffed a punt. And now Brandon Valley has trouble with the snap. And, I mean, you can't blame him. It was a low snap. It wasn't the punter's fault. But that does give Lincoln the ball inside the 20.
And that's going to put the defense in a bad spot, but they have to come to play here. This is 7-7 ball game, 7:59 to go in the first half.
And Tommy Thompson back on the field with Robinson in the backfield. Play action, fade left, end zone. It is caught, and it is a touchdown for Lincoln.
And that's just a beautiful pass. Right where the defensive back had no idea where it was at. I think it was back shoulder.
Yeah.
And that's just a great pass by
yeah,
that
what are you
senior.
going to do? I mean, the
can't
guy's
do
blanketed
anything.
all over him.
Right.
So Logan Needles gets into the end zone, and the Lynx offense will have another chance here. As it is now 13-7, Sioux Falls Lincoln. And it is good. And so now Brandon Valley finds themselves in just a smidge of trouble here, down by 7 on back-to-back scores. And that's as good as a turnover right there.
Absolutely. That's what I was going to say is the Patriots have one official turnover. The Lynx don't. That's not going to count as a turnover. But like you said, Kyle, that is just like one 1,000%, and it's almost even worse.
Yeah.
And so special teams, boy, early in this football game, in the second quarter here, we've seen one dropped punt return by the Patriots and one botch snap, we'll call it, by the Lynx, and that's what the ball game is so far.
Yep.
Special teams playing a big role, and a lot of times in these type of football games when it's close, special teams will play a massive role,
especially in high school football, more than anything. So 14-7 Patriots. And this is when your big knockers have to come out here. This is when your studs got to come out and punch him in the mouth here. It starts with a good return, and it was a good return out to the 32-yard line.
So start with good field position by the Lynx. They have to right now they look like they're unorthodox a little bit offensively, okay? And so stay true what you're doing, run the ball, play action. They're really good on the play action, but you got to make sure that when they do this play action, you ever see Kirk Cousins? I know there's not a lot of Kirk Cousins fans out there, but he's really good on the play action. He sets his feet and lets that rocket go. And that's what Joe needs to do off the play action.
First down, I formation for Brandon Valley. And they're going to run it. Johnson. Maybe. Well, he got back to the line of scrimmage, and he fought a little bit more, and he ended up getting 3.
Well, in that formation, everybody was bunched in. The only one that was out wide was Jackson Hilton. So what they did, the Lincoln Patriots brought 10 into the box. Folks, when you're watching the defense on both sides of the ball, watch where that defense lines up. Watch where those safeties come down. They're either reading run to pass or pass to run. And now there's not really a single safety on Jackson. That's man-to-man coverage outside on Jackson Hilton. We'll see if they exploit it.
Now they're going to run the option, and they pitch it out. And a nice run with some space.
Or you can do that. So the key to that run was Jackson Hilton sealing his corner. He sealed his corner to the outside on the block. He was blocking for him. That was a really good seal, and that opened it up for even more yards. So if they're going to play a cover 3 defense, and we can talk about that later, what a cover 3 is, and we know what man is. It's really simple, man-to-man. But on the opposite side of the field, see, they're playing man-to-man down on your bottom of your screen, number 4 on Hilton.
Colbeck's going to hang on to this one. Nice run into Lincoln Patriots territory. Down at about the 47-yard line.
So Andy, I believe it is number 4, Andy Blazevik. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Okay. The defensive back, the senior, 5'11 senior for the Patriots, is man-to-man with Jackson Hilton. At some point, you have to take your shot if they're going to go man-to-man coverage on one of the best receivers in this state.
Midway through the second quarter. It's a reverse. Jackson Hilton broke 1 tackle, cuts, heads to the 40. This is a good-looking run from Jackson Hilton. He's inside the 10, he's inside the 5, and he's in for the touchdown. Holy cow, Jackson Hilton.
Put the ball into your playmaker's hands and let him do the run after catch, and you just saw that. The beauty of that was just not him running, his patience in running. You've seen the patience all the way down the field. He let the blocks develop. That was almost just like a running back. That was a good run.
It was a some Vikings fans will remember this name. It was a Cordero Patterson-like play where things look like they might be going awry. He breaks 1 tackle deep into the backfield. I mean, he was 5-10 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Extra point, hits the upright, and it is good from Zach Brummels, so good kick from Zach. But, I mean, all it took was 1 broken tackle. And, I mean, he was maybe touched on his foot after that. But, boy, what an impressive run. And we talked about the players that got you to the point you're at now need to step up on this drive, and they did.
Right, and that was, like we talked about, a tremendous run, tremendous patience. Even a stiff arm came out of that. You saw that right down in your bottom of your screen at about the 45-yard line. But the patience at the end of the run, you thought he was going to be stopped, but he let his blockers get in front of him and just cut it up a little bit, and that was a touchdown. Great, but that's even better call from the offensive staff, because we've said it all year long, Kyle, is you got to get your players the ball, your big-time players the ball. They got to get touches. And that proved a point right there, is that getting your playmakers the ball. You saw Tate Johnson with the big run, and then you bring a reverse from the wide receiver position from Jackson Hilton. Only 2 plays in that series, but those 2 players touch the ball, and look what happens.
Yeah, and even though I still don't think that they're distributing the ball as much as they want to.
Mm-hmm.
Having Colbeck there has definitely helped. And I think Lincoln should have let that ball go out of bounds, but it's picked up by Robinson, and they're going to be pinned way back. Well, not too far. Well, actually, 12-yard line. Yeah, that's not great starting field position for Lincoln. That's just what the doctor ordered for this Brandon Valley defense. And another thing about this Lincoln offense moving so quickly is it really wins. It really blows the wind out of the sails of the Lynx defense. And they do very quickly. This is a well-conditioned Lincoln team.
And here comes the NASCAR offense, we'll call it that.
Yeah, there you go.
As they are ready to go, the Patriots.
Robinson, nice run across the 15. And guess who's on the bottom of that pile again? Owen Warren. He has had quite the first half, clogging it up from the linebacker position. Now it looks like he's showing blitz. He does blitz. Pass to the outside is caught. But a nice open field tackle by a couple of Lynx, including Aiden Lloyd. We've called a couple times today as well.
Noah Thompson with the big initial hit from his corner position, just coming down. He's not a big kid, but that was a big stop on a big tight end.
Yeah, we talked about Luke Smith already. He's got the touchdown for Lincoln, one of them. Big third down here, 3rd and 3. Here he is, and the pass is thrown behind the receiver, Needles, but he's able to hold on to it and get the first down across the 30.
So what they're doing now is they're running crossing patterns. They tried to go outside, to the X receivers on the outside. That wasn't working. Now they're to eliminate the pressure. Guess what they're doing? They're quick passes over the middle, crossing patterns.
Thompson's going to run it this time, but that was a nice run. But Dominic Tucker stops him in his tracks. 5-yard gain.
And we see that in the NFL all the time. If teams are going to bring a ton of pressure in the NFL, in any level of football, the quick passing game is the one that gets you right out of that blitzing situation.
So 4 wide receivers again, empty backfield. They're going to bring some heat. Pass left is caught. First down across the 45-yard line. It's Needles again. He has had a busy first half.
So what is the adjustment by the coaching staff now defensively is if they're going to do the quick passing game, you have to take away every inside route. So what you do to your linebackers and your corners and safeties, if you're in man coverage, what they are, you shade them to the inside of them and don't let them inside of you.
Thompson's going to run it, and he's got lots of room up the middle, and he's finally tripped up near the 40-yard line. Parker Reed, who takes him down, now from the 41-yard line, first down. Thompson's going to run it again, and he doesn't have as much luck this time, but he is going to get 3 out of it because he keeps churning those legs.
And so we have a player down for Lincoln. So defensively, we'll go back to what I was talking about, Kyle, is that when your corners and safeties are in man coverage, so they're over the wide receivers because Lincoln spreads the ball out so much.
Yeah.
They have 4 receivers constantly in every formation. You shade your corners and safeties to the inside of the formation so you don't allow any crossing patterns to happen.
Yeah.
We'll see if they do that defensively.
And that's Ty Schaefer in the backfield taking the snap. They're going to hand it off to Robinson. And he immediately leaves the game. I think what happened was, and actually Schaefer's going to stay in the game for now. And actually, no, sorry. Tommy Thompson's coming back in. I think Thompson lost his helmet. His helmet fell off, so he's got to come out for a play. So it's going to be 3rd and 2. Robinson. Oof.
He's not going to get it.
No, I don't think so.
So that's going to bring up a 4th down. What do you think, about a 1.5 yards?
I'd say so. And, of course, who was it? It was Warren again.
So look how fast they go to the line, Kyle. We try to sub.
4th and 1. Under 2 to play here in the first half. Still 16 seconds on the play clock.
So they're going to try to draw them off sides. See what they're doing.
Yep.
And they're going to call a timeout.
Yep. Timeout, Sioux Falls Lincoln. So this is as big a moment we've had here in this first half, and it's been a really good first half of football. These are definitely 2 title contenders going after it here. And, I mean, if you're Sioux Falls Lincoln, what do you do here? You got a lot of options.
Well, Thompson's been running the ball a lot. Brandon Valley's going to stack the box. And we've seen that on a couple 4th down plays here that Robinson, I believe it was Isaiah Robinson's gained a couple first downs by him jumping over the line. I don't think that's going to work this time. What you have to watch out for here is Lincoln knows that they're going to stack the middle of the formation, the Lynx defense. Watch out for the boot. And what I'm talking about, a play action boot, where they roll Thompson out to his right. You have to watch that.
Yep.
You have to have somebody spying on that. And you almost have to have, I believe it's number 4.
Owen Warren.
He's on the left side of the formation, number 4 for the Lynx. You got to have him stay home and watch Thompson roll to his right.
Well, he's all alone back there, and he's going to throw it, and it's incomplete. Lincoln doesn't get it. Nemec on the coverage.
Boy, what a big play by number 2.
Joey Nemec.
Yeah, the senior, we've seen him at the other side of the field make a big play.
Yes.
That was the next big play.
So a huge turnover on downs. And the sweating that we were doing 2 weeks ago, at least so far in this game, about the Lynx defense is most certainly gone. Now, they've given up 14 points in this half to a very, very good team, time with a short field.
They've been put in bad situations, though.
Yes, they have. So 14 all, and the Lynx can try and add on here. But they're not going to do it that way, as Johnson for 2.
So I believe the Lynx have 2 timeouts. Watch that man-to-man coverage. They're going to be at the last formation was at the bottom of your screen with Jackson Hilton and number 4, Blazevik, the corner for the Patriots. Watch that matchup because there is a man-to-man coverage unless they put a safety over the top. Now it's at the top of your screen. Watch that coverage because it's going to be tricky over there. Now the safety's rolling over to his side.
Yeah, they're going to throw it. They're going to throw it up deep for Carroll, and there's a lot of hand grabbing going on. This one could go either way. It was up there for Carroll. It was number 22, Kenny Bathke, on the coverage. And we are going to see one side is not going to be happy. And it is going to be on the defense.
So that's a big, big play. As number 8, they were going to number 80, Peyton Carroll, your Lynx. Those 2 receivers, they're bigger receivers too, so you can really put the ball up for them. And so, but watch that matchup. That time, the safety rolled over the top of Jackson Hilton, so they're in kind of a box coverage there. But what Colbeck's got to look at, he's got to watch that safety. He's coming in the box now. Now it's a true man-to-man formation. Now they go to him. They got to go to him.
They're going for Johnson, actually. And again, that's going to be another pass interference penalty.
That's going to be face guarding. You can't just put up your hands in face guard. That's just what it is.
Really? You can't?
Yeah, you can.
Oh, all right.
So that's going to be face guard, and that's what they call it. And that was just a bailout by that defensive back. He had he knew that completion was coming. He was beat, and that's why he did that. He could have saved a touchdown there.
Yeah, and that's That's one thing that, like, I hear a lot of people talk about, especially in the NFL when it's a spot foul. But if you're going to get beat deep, and you know you're going to get beat deep, you might as well grab onto him and hope that he doesn't catch it, and you live to fight another down at least instead of just giving up the touchdown. So there are such things, I guess, as good pass interference penalties in a way. Here's Colbeck to the left side and a nice run, and the Lynx are scampering with 30 seconds to go and trying to get into field goal range or to try and score a touchdown to take the lead into halftime.
Big run, big play call from the offensive staff as they're expecting a throw. Colbeck with the designed run from the quarterback position. Big gainer.
Peyton Egan is back into the game, number 34. Just a sophomore. But he's impressed Ken. He's impressed me. And he must be impressing the coaches because his playing time has gone significantly up. He's in the slot on the right side of the line. Colbeck trying to run it. He gets away from one man and goes out of bounds.
The fans want a late hit. They're not going to call that. It was mirroring close, but it wasn't close enough for, especially at this crucial part of a game, they're not going to call that on the sideline. So watch the Lynx use the wide side of the field. They're at the left-hand side of the hash when they're going right to left here. So they're at the right-hand, so the left-hand side of the hash, the two hashes. Watch him roll out with Joe here. Use his legs maybe to the right and see if they climb up because there's man-to-man coverage again all across the board.
Well, Jack Darrow doesn't like what he sees, so he's going to take a timeout. Only one left with 22 seconds.
They're signaling to something. Oh, they want the band to sit down. The coaching staff does. You might not be able to see it, folks, but they are all signaling to the band. They were all standing up, and they wanted them all to sit down for some reason. It might have been a distraction for the offense. I don't know. I don't know how it is a distraction, but anyways. So,
do you know who Sioux Falls O'Gorman was playing today?
I think they're giving us scores here. But
yeah, I just caught one. And it said that O'Gorman won 31-7. I thought they said it was Roosevelt, but that's not right, is it? That doesn't sound very Roosevelty to me.
Well, you just don't know in football. So offensively, the key to this is, like we were talking about prior to the timeout, is watch the formation, watch the roll right by Colbeck. He's going to me, if I'm trying to defend this, Colbeck's rolling right.
2nd and 2.
And I was wrong.
We're going to go an end around here, and it's Carson Mashlin inside the 15, and he does get out of bounds with 14 seconds to go. O'Gorman beat Sioux Falls Washington 31-7.
Okay.
That was the final. Just about gave me a heart attack because I could have sworn I heard Bob Logan say,
then I was going to say,
Roosevelt.
Well, all of a sudden we're going to have some massive juggling on the top three.
There's going to be some movement. Wickersham checking in. Good play by Carson Mashlin.
And it looked like he had an option to throw the ball, too.
Yeah. I think he might have played some. I don't want to say that. I don't want to look like an idiot. Somebody comes up to me in the grocery store and tells me I'm stupid. Carson Mashlin never played quarterback. Okay, sorry. Here's Colbeck, going to run it to the right side.
They have a timeout.
Left. Yep,
you got to use it.
7 seconds. Now 5 seconds. Boy, what do you do here?
Coach Garrow is not liking the clock. He's looking up to the box up here.
Yeah, he's like, guys, you're our guys.
Yeah, give me 2 more seconds.
Because the whistle blew with 7.
Right.
So that's tough. I wonder if teams actually do that. Like if we go to Pier and, Pier's just like, oh, I guess I didn't see it. Like, sorry, you lose 3 seconds. Yeah, probably not.
The person that's running the clock, you think that they're...
Well, it's a new, Yeah, it's a new system this year that we're using up here. And it's different. It's not your average normal clock that you would use like in the gym. It's a big old scoreboard thing used on an iPad, which can glitch, So.
Right.
But yeah, they're not going to put anything else back on the clock. This ain't like the NFL where they reset the play or reset the game clock or anything.
They can look at our replay though.
Yeah, they could use us. We're available.
We are. I see the video board right now. Oh, it just went to something else, but I saw our screen on there.
Yep,
so
that's us.
We got to see what you folks are looking at.
Yeah.
Great job by the camera crew.
Yes, high school kids, and they do a good job, so we appreciate that. All volunteer work from them.
Interesting formation here as we have a bunch formation.
5 seconds left. They're going to run. End zone, touchdown. Flag on the play.
Watch the holding as the clock's going to go to zeros.
It was a very late flag.
It could be block in the back. We'll see. It is holding.
Ouch.
The fans don't like it. You probably don't like it at home. 400 of you or more.
And
So
now they're saying that they're going to get an untimed down here.
Yeah, because the half cannot end in a penalty.
Oh, okay. So that's going to give the Lynx an opportunity to kick a field goal. This is going to be a 28-yard field goal. And I think Lincoln wants to take a timeout here.
Well, the Lincoln staff is arguing it, but you can't, my belief is you can't end the half. Well, they're going to.
So Lincoln's going to take a timeout, and they're going to plead their case here. But if it went, yeah, I don't know about that.
But when there's a penalty, that negates the clock, even though it says 0. And so the play.
You're replaying the last play, though, from 10 yards back.
Right. So there's no true clock, but it can't end on a penalty. So just like in the end of the game, it can't end on a penalty, especially if it's. That's my belief. I don't know the official rule. I know
because you can't decline the penalty. That's how games end. Pass interference, defense, the penalty's declined. That's the end of the game.
Right.
Well, you can't decline that because it was a touchdown if you decline it.
Right.
So, that makes sense.
I know when I was coaching in Minnesota, the Minnesota rules is you can't end a half or an end of the game on a penalty.
So Zach Brummels is going to get a shot here. 28-yard attempt. Lynx looking to take the lead before the half, and they get the ball to start the second half. Good snap. Good hold. Brummels.
Good.
Yes, sir.
And the lead goes to the Lynx going into halftime.
Yes, sir. 17-14. The Lynx have the lead. In what has been a very exciting. I think the referee still got his microphone on. That's why we stopped.
Yeah, we paused a little bit because we heard.
I thought it was us because once before we were going through the loudspeaker.
Well, I think they'd like to hear us out here, don't you?
No. They want to hear you.
Yeah, no, absolutely you. All right, we'll go over our sponsors real quick before the Lynx marching band comes to the field and performs. And the anchor sponsors for Lynx TV are the Avera Medical Group, McGreevy, Brandon, Sanford Clinic Family Medicine in Brandon, Service First, FCU, which is Federal Credit Union, Sanford Orthopedics. The founding sponsors are Alliance Communications, Brandon Lumber Company, Brandon Ace Hardware, Brandon Pharmacy, American Family Insurance, Josh Kube Agency Incorporated, Heartland Funeral Home and Cremation Services, Sunshine Food Store, today's family dentistry. The platinum sponsors are Sanford Health, Sioux Valley Energy, Alliance Communications, Coca-Cola Bottling, and Midco Communications. The Pride sponsors are Architecture Incorporated, Hinkle Electronic Materials LLC, McDonald's, and Michael's Fence. Thank you.
Yep, thank you very much to them. The band is coming out on the field. And just so we're clear here, this doesn't say high school, but it says the offense can accept the penalty from the previous spot with an untimed or declined penalty, which would end the half. The only way to extend the period with an untimed down is to accept the penalty. So, regardless of who it's against, if a penalty is accepted and there's zeros on the clock in the first or second half at the end of it, you do get an untimed down. So it doesn't matter which team has the ball or what happened. If a penalty is accepted and the time's expired in the half or the game, there's always an untimed down.
And obviously Lincoln was going to accept that penalty, otherwise it would have been 6 points on the board instead of 3.
Maybe Garrow should have went over there and been like, fine, decline it, see if we care.
Yeah, take it.
Yep. Either way, we got the lead at 17-14. We'll talk more about this game after the band.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Good.
How's Lisa and Ed? I haven't talked to Lynn in a while.
Fighting until the end. And in the direction of Tyler Nedestead, assisted by Calvin Lipinski. Drum majors Abby Christensen, Tanner Schultz, and Nicole Hansen. Is your band ready? Brandon Valley marching link. You maintain the next exhibition. watching our halftime performance. Tomorrow the Marching Lynx will travel to Sioux Falls to participate in the Festival Dance Competition. And the following week will travel to Orange City for the Dutchman Field Championships. You can stay up to date with the latest band news by checking out the Granite Valley Band's Facebook page. The band would like to send their sincere thanks to many people that have helped out the program, including all the staff, parents, equipment crew, Band Parents Association, faculty, and administration. We appreciate all your support. Thank you.
All right, welcome back. 17-14 Lynx. We talked right before before we sent it over to the band what the situation was there. The Lynx scored a touchdown. There was a holding penalty. The penalty was accepted by Lincoln, so they're able to there's got to be an untimed down when a penalty is accepted to end a half or a game. So the Lynx were able to cash in on a good kick on a 28-yard field goal by Zach Brummels, and it's now 17-14, and the Lynx get the ball.
In this big matchup, 11 AAA, as you said, O'Gorman beat Washington earlier this evening. This is the number 3 and 4 seed in 11 AAA, and it's a 17-14 game.
So this is a short kick. And the Lynx are going to start with good field position again. They've had a couple of good kick returns. This is Levi Pfeiffer, number 36, on the return, the senior. And the Lynx got an opportunity to stretch this lead out to a 2-possession game if they can get in the end zone on this drive to start the half.
One thing I'd like to see the Lynx offense is to establish the run a little bit. They've kind of went away from the run. Lincoln's done a good job stopping it, but you got to stay true to your offense.
Tate Johnson's been bottled up a little bit, but they're going to give it to him to start the half, and he gets loose here, and he's going to get about 9 on that run. So nice to see Tate Johnson back in it. He did have the longish touchdown drive, but we're just not used to seeing this type of relentless defense taking care of Johnson in that way.
Well, and the Lynx have kind of went away from it a little bit, as we could see in the first half, the run. But they got to reel it back, and that first down really made a difference. In this second down play is it opens up the playbook we always talk about. Now they can play action. They can do a million things in the playbook on 2nd and 1.
And as you said, it is 2nd and 1, 4 down to 3 on the play clock, and they get it off. And they're just going to give it to Johnson again, and he doesn't get much. But he does get enough for a first down for the Lynx, as number 18, Sam Hinbjorgen, makes the stop. But the Lynx are in Lincoln territory.
One person I'm spotlighting tonight, Kyle, is number 76, Jackson Mullet, the 6'3", 310-pound senior offensive lineman. He's a left tackle for the Lynx, and he is tremendous tonight. You have to watch him. He's downfield blocking. He's taking care of a lot on that left side.
And that blocking created some space for Johnson, who heads left. Boy, that left side of the line is really giving it to him. I just noticed it for the first time on that play. They're 5-6 yards downfield.
Oh, and the play before Jackson Mullet, he was 12 yards downfield blocking. He was with Tate, and there's a lot of fire underneath him right now, because in the first half we saw it a little bit too. We highlighted him, but he's having a heck of a football game.
2nd down and 5, and we'll see who the guilty party is here. Joe Kolbeck thinks this one is going against Lincoln. And he would be right, because that is going to be either offsides or encroachment. As we say, it's pretty much the same thing.
So the Lynx are going to give them a little bit of their medicine. They're going to hurry up to the line on 2nd down and 1.
Everybody's bunched up here. They're going to pitch it to Johnson, who's got some space inside the 20. And Johnson is finally taken down near the 10-yard line by Peyton Hughes. But a huge run, and I think they caught the Lincoln Patriots napping, because nobody was outside to stop Johnson there.
Well, we talked about it coming into this second half, establish a run. Well, in this drive, they've established the run.
Oh, yes.
There hasn't been a pass, and it's been a lot of Tate Johnson on this drive, and they're driving inside the red zone now.
Think now's a good time for play action?
Maybe.
Maybe. I like maybe. Johnson. You wanted to throw the ball. Touchdown, Brandon Valley.
Well, Tate Johnson.
I didn't mean to
Tate
throw you under the
Johnson.
bus like that. Go ahead.
Tate Johnson, Tate Johnson, Tate Johnson.
Yeah.
And like we just said, Kyle, get back to what's true to your offense. Start out with the run, play action off that run, and boy, hand it to not just Tate Johnson, but that offensive line. That offensive line established the line of scrimmage on that drive.
And you talk about the Lynx, and we say it all the time as Brummel's kick is good. They get better as the season goes on. This offensive line has gotten better every single week. And you look back at the Roosevelt game compared to what we're seeing now, it's night and day.
Well, I haven't seen a lot of tackles play at that level. That number 76 Jackson Mullet's playing. He's down on the bottom of your screen right here, taking off his helmet, sitting down. He's playing at a different level tonight. When you're getting into the second and third level blocking, that means you are playing at a high level. And the offensive line established that line of scrimmage. I don't know if they were talked to inside the locker room at halftime, but somebody talked to them, and they came out running the rock, and that was true to that drive. Boom, touchdown. Now you're up 2 scores.
And not just, establishing the run. I mean, picking up big chunks like we have not seen other than the touchdown in the first half. And that's what somebody like Johnson can do, especially after you've played a full half. The team's given up 17 points. And you come right back out with the football, and you just ram it down their throat. You challenge them when they're still cold from coming back onto the field.
And we a lot of times focus on the playmakers, your actual, like a Jackson Hilton or Joe Colbeck or Tate Johnson. But let's give it up to that offensive line. I'm telling you, and one more impressive thing is the NASCAR offense is coming out to the field.
Yes.
But number 76 is now teaching the younger sophomore tackle. He's talking to him, and that's just another level. That is great by that student athlete to do that.
Thompson's throw is incomplete, intended for Ty Schaefer. And Thompson, really, he's been doing a great job running the ball, but he has not done much throwing the football. He's made some good throws, but the Lynx secondary has been up to the challenge. 2nd down and 10. They're going to give it off to Robinson, and Robinson's not going anywhere. He stopped for a 1-yard gain. As this defense continues to be relentless, Damian Shunke on the stop.
Interesting, Lincoln has slowed down their offense a little bit for substitution-wise. It allows the Brandon Valley Lynx to sub also. That's advantage Lynx there, because in that no-huddle offense, you can't sub a lot.
Thompson looking for some space. It's incomplete and almost intercepted on the play. Boy, that could have been going the other way. And a great drive for this Lynx defense. A 3-and-out against the Patriots. They'll take that all day. New England or Lincoln.
Punting formation on for the Patriots, back deep. I believe it is Egan.
Yep.
For the Lynx.
Another low snap, this time by Lincoln, and that didn't turn out well last time for the Lynx.
Boy.
And it looks like Brandon Valley falls on that one, but that had danger written all over it. A low line drive kick. And it looked like Egan was stuck between a rock and a hard place.
It'll be interesting to see what the Lynx do here. Is they're going to regain possession.
Well, Lincoln
they didn't
thought
lose it.
Yeah, Lincoln thought they had the ball. Both teams did, which is probably,
so
the right thing to want.
Right. Offensively, now this is a good time on 1st down to run that play action with Tate Johnson, because what they're going to do is they want to stuff that run. They've just been eaten alive that last drive with the run by Johnson.
On first down, they're going to run it again, and Tate Johnson has awoken into Lincoln territory to the 46-yard line. Hughes on the stop. But this Lynx crowd is finally getting into it as well. I wish you could hear them, but
As soon as I say play action, Tate Johnson for the first down.
yeah. Just like on the last drive when you said they should go play action and then they ran the ball. No, that's not true. I said that. I said that.
And they might as well do it.
Yeah. I can't believe I threw you under the bus like that. That's amazing. Here's the handoff up the middle.
But what that'll do is all this running in this, I think that's probably the 7th or 8th consecutive run on the last 2 series. The past series that Brandon Valley scored in this series, it's creating man-to-man coverage now for a big playmaker like a Jackson Hilton on the outside, because now the safety's coming down inside the box.
Yep.
He's not going to be over the top. One of these times they're going to take a shot. You can see that on the far side on your screen.
Johnson, not yet. Across the 45 down to the 40. That's going to bring up a 3rd and about 4 after the 5-yard gain. And this is a huge play for both teams. Again, it's tough to think that the Lynx pick up maybe a few yards, that they don't go for it here. Now up 2 scores. First half ran long. Second half is already 5 minutes in because the Lynx have really established the run game now. It's 3rd down and 4 from the 41. That was Peyton Carroll, the motion man. Designed run for Colbeck. And it's going to be close.
It will be a first down, I believe.
Yep. They're going to move it.
So the running game has been established.
Yes. Yes, it has.
And so that is pick your poison time for that defense, because they have to crowd the box. They have to bring 8, at least, I would assume, 8 players inside the box. That should open up your passing game. I keep on harping on it.
Yeah.
It should. We'll see what they do.
We're both going to say it till we're blue in the face. I mean, everybody's up at the line of scrimmage now. Play action, lots of pressure, flag on the play. Here goes Colbeck, but I don't think this one will stand for very long, because I think Brandon Valley is going to get called for a holding penalty.
And so I believe it was the fullback Wickersham that's going to be caught for the hold. One thing you can do, though, offensively here is it doesn't have to be the deep ball to a Jackson Hilton or Sam Skolton or to Peyton Carroll, okay? Or even Vegans, okay? You can, out of that man coverage, you can run a quick slant here because everybody's coming. And that's not giving Joe a lot of time to throw for a deep pass. Just run a little slant here underneath the corner, and Jackson Hilton or whoever it may be is going to run for daylight. I mean, it's going to be in the end zone. Just a quick pass.
Well, the holding penalty is a spot foul penalty in high school, and it was way behind the line of scrimmage. So it's now 1st and 27. And they're going to run the reverse here. That is Johnson to the right side. They're going to get a lot of it back. They're going to get almost all of it back. So 1st and 27 turns into about 2nd and 3.
And I just got a text, and maybe they're listening to me. Former coach for Lincoln, okay, wide receivers coach, and a former national champion for USF, the middle linebacker, text me and said, that Tate Johnson's pretty special.
Yeah, he is.
And he is, and they use him in multiple facets on the offense. But you got to play off of that, too. You can't, I mean, at some point, Lincoln's got to tighten up their defense to stop him. And then you can open up other things offensively.
Johnson. Not this time. So eventually they were going to catch up to him, and it's now going to be 3rd and about 5.
Yeah, it's such, to have those type of weapons, to have a running back like that in high school, but give credit where credit's due to that offensive line. That offensive line is making that line of scrimmage move, not backwards, forward.
3rd down and 5. Big 3rd down coming up here from the 30. Again, it's a designed run for Colbeck. And again, Colbeck's going to pick up the 1st down. He stays on his feet until he's ushered out of bounds by Jack Hughes. And again, it's just pick your poison for this Lynx. You're going to stop Tate Johnson, fine. Joe Colbeck's going to run. You're going to stop both of them, fine. Joe's going to throw it. It's going to be a headache for
a lot of
teams to try and figure out how to stop this Lynx offense when it's running smoothly.
I think
and it's only going to get better as the season goes on. Sorry, go ahead.
I talked to my father-in-law last couple weeks, and I think with Joe Colbeck, that Roosevelt game's a different story. Opening game.
Oh, no doubt about it. We're going to give it to Johnson on a read option inside the 20. And they're going to get 3 yards on that one, so that's going to bring up a 2nd and 7.
And what I mean by that is Joe Colbeck couldn't play in the first game, and so nothing against Slack, our backup quarterback. He's a sophomore, but he played in that game, and I believe it was a 2-point game. Am I correct?
23-21. Yep.
Okay.
I don't know how I remember that, but
my feeling is Joe Colbeck gives you at least 3 points in a game.
I think that's fair. Maybe more. Johnson again, up the middle, and we'll see where they spot this one. It should be right around the 11-yard line. So it's going to bring up a 3rd and about 2. And with the Lynx already leading by 10, with 3:47 to go in the 3rd, a touchdown would be devastating for the Patriots.
It puts you up 3 scores.
A field goal puts you up by 13. And right now it's the 29-yard field goal attempt, but the Lynx are going to try to pick this one up.
And I think you're in 4-down territory. There hasn't been a lot of times the Lynx have been in this territory in the red zone. Take advantage of it, gain that extra down.
And they're resetting the game clock here. And they're going to reset it to 40 on the play clock. I don't know if you have that on your screen. But it's going to be 3rd and 2. And like you said, with 4-down territory, if you can't pick up 2 yards in 2 plays, and they do, 1st down, Brandon Valley.
And that offensive line, we can see it from this angle. You probably don't focus on the backfield, folks. Focus on the offensive line. And look at the push that they're giving this running back in Tate Johnson and Joe Colbeck from the quarterback position, because those design draws that Colbeck and sweeps that they're doing with the quarterback are working because the offensive line's getting such a massive push at the line of scrimmage.
So 3 minutes to go here. 1st and goal. Colbeck running it to the end zone. He broke the plane. Touchdown, Brandon Valley. A devastating blow by this Lynx offense to make it 30-14. Got a lot of standing around going on in the end zone, but the Lynx do score, and they're an extra point away from making this a 3-possession game. Well, now we got a flag. It would be a 3-possession game with 15 game minutes left. And we've heard few times the Lynx fans have not been happy with the referee crew. We'll see if that's the case again.
So they're talking to the Lincoln coaching staff, so it's going to be on Brandon Valley.
Yeah. Probably some sort of unsportsmanlike.
Touchdown counts after the play was over. Unsportsmanlike conduct, number 6,
And that's going to be unsportsmanlike conduct against the Lynx.
It's going to be on the quarterback, Joel Kolbeck, but, that was another design run from the quarterback position for the offense. But as you could see with the offensive line there, he wasn't touched until 3-4 yards down the field, and he only needed to get 6 yards for the touchdown.
You give Joe or Tate 3 yards of space, there's no chance. So the Lynx do score, and if you guys know Joe Kolbeck, you know that he's a fiery young man. And a little too fiery, I guess, on that one. But the Lynx do have a 17-point lead, and Lincoln will probably have a shorter field here.
And what a good head coach does, he comes over and talks to his quarterback. That's Coach Garrow, talks to his quarterback and just relax. We need you to be a leader, and we need you to be an example and not give up yards from uncalled for penalties.
Yeah. Yep, that was a tough one.
And so 31-14, 2:58 to go, third quarter. This 11 AAA matchup between the Lincoln Patriots in the Metro Conference versus the your Brandon Valley Lynx. We talked about coming into this game, Kyle. Roosevelt sitting at 5-0, Harrisburg 4-1, Lincoln 3-1. That's 1, 2, 3 in the seedings. Brandon Valley number 4 by about I think it's a half point.
Yeah.
At number 4, Washington losing tonight. So O'Gorman's not in that top 5 because they've lost the last 2 games.
Yeah.
And so O'Gorman beating Washington, they should jump into that top 5 realm.
I'm excited to see. This is just a pooch kick. And Lynx try to be fancy and go on sides, but it doesn't work. It's going to be Lincoln ball plus side of the field. I'm excited to see that Harrisburg team come to town. I'd really like to watch them play. Boy, have they been impressive this year.
They have a really good quarterback, and I believe it's Knutson. I think that's his last name. I mean, somebody will probably correct me if it's not, but they have this type of offense too. They play a no huddle offense, and they have a tremendous quarterback, and they spread everything out. So once they come to town, the Lynx defense is going to have the same thing going on from the Harrisburg Tigers.
Well, Tate Johnson awoke for the Lynx. Let's see if Tommy Thompson can do the same thing for Lincoln. There's pressure in the backfield, and that is Ryan Dahl and Parker Reed on the pressure, and Thompson had no chance on that one. He just has to – it was basically a throwaway.
So I told you I would get a message, and Kelly Meeker, for those of you that know him from the Air Attack Academy and the South Dakota Miners, just texted me and said it's Jacob Knuth, the quarterback for Harrisburg. So thanks, Kelly.
Yeah, thanks, Kelly. Seems like a nice man. Robinson up the middle. Still churning the feet, and he's going to get another yard out of it. He's going to get to the 39, so another third down coming up. And I think Sioux Falls Lincoln is going to be in 4-down territory the rest of the game here, down by 17. Lynx have now scored 24 in a row. They were up 7-0, gave up back-to-back touchdowns on back-to-back drives. And it's been all them since. Thompson, pressured. He has no chance.
And I believe that's going to be Aiden Lloyd that's in there.
You know it.
Senior, number 23.
He's had a big game today.
Yeah, and so one thing about this Lincoln offense, they can score points in bunches. So defensively, you got to stay true to what you've been doing. You can't go into somewhat of a prevent defense. You're in the third quarter still. I know that the clock's turning into the fourth quarter with 1:45 to go in the third. But you got to stay true to what you've been doing all night. It's worked in the passing game for the most part. Keep on bringing the pressure.
4th and 10, more pressure. And again, down he goes. Aiden Lloyd, Parker Reed, Ryan Dahl, all of them in on the stop along with Owen Warren. Lynx ball at the 45.
I absolutely love aggressive defenses. I do not like defenses that sit on their heels. I like defenses that play on their toes, and I love to put pressure on quarterbacks, and that's what this coaching staff has done. Hats off to the coaching staff so far through almost 3 quarters as they've put a ton of pressure on the passing game from Tommy Thompson in that offense.
No doubt about it. And it was Damian Shunky that was at the bottom of that pile, so we're going to assume he was the one that made the hit. But it was all those guys that were in there that made that happen, as this pass is incomplete. And that play wasn't really there anyway for Jackson Hilton. I think Peyton Hughes kind of sniffed it out, and he was able to kind of get in the way of that pass, so it's incomplete.
Well, it's not a bad play, folks. Everybody's probably saying at home, well, it should be just running the ball, just run the ball, drain the clock. You have to play off the next play. As an offensive coordinator, you're only as good as your last play, and so you have to play off that play. That could be baiting that corner at some point where they fake that quick pass into a big pass. And here's
Johnson,
a big run.
Spinning away down the left side to the 30, inside the 20, and down inside the 15-yard line. That is a special type of run as Tate Johnson spinning away and getting a monster gain. And the Lynx are inside the red zone again.
And you talked about it earlier in the third quarter, Kyle. That left side of that offensive line, where are they gaining their massive chunks of yards?
Left side.
Oh, boy. I'm telling you, if Jackson Mullet is not on the radar for colleges, he needs to be. He is tremendous at left tackle.
6'3", 310 senior. Playing like a man possessed tonight. Here's Colbeck. And Colbeck's going to maybe get a couple of yards on that one. Gain of 3 to the 10. As we're, like we said, we're winding down our third quarter here. Lynx have scored 2 touchdowns so far in this quarter. And the defense has held Sioux Falls Lincoln in check.
No big rush by the Lynx offense. They don't need to be in a rush. Drain that clock a little bit in the third quarter here. You have to hurry up to the line as you're sitting at about 7 seconds.
Damon Vischer came in for the Lynx, number 32, but it is still Johnson who gets the pitch to the right side, and it's going to bring up a 3rd and 5, and that is how our third quarter comes to an end. A quarter completely dominated by your Lynx, and it pays to be a second-half team.
It does. I don't think Joe Colbeck has had one completion in the third quarter. I think it's just all run. And it's been we always talk about, Kyle, what great coaching staffs do as they walk into halftime. It's about adjustments. This was a tight game. This was a 17-14 ball game walking into halftime.
Right.
Okay? It's the difference in most football games is the adjustments that are made by a coaching staff at halftime. And right now, the Lynx coaching staff obviously has made the adjustments to put it up to a 3-score game at 31-14. So Avera, your anchor sponsor, Avera Medical Group McGreevy in Brandon, Sanford Clinic Family Medicine in Brandon, Service First, Federal Credit Union, Sanford Orthopedics. The founding sponsors are Alliance Communications, Brandon Lumber Company. I messed that one up, didn't I? Brandon
okay.
Lumber Company, Brandon Ace Hardware, Brandon Pharmacy, American Family Insurance, Josh Koob Agency Incorporated, Heartland Funeral Home and Cremation Services, Sunshine Foods Store, and Today's Family Dentistry. The platinum sponsors are Sanford Health, Sioux Valley Energy, Alliance Communications, Coca-Cola Bottling, and Midco Communications. So we walk into the fourth quarter.
Yes, sir.
Three-score
We ran
game.
into the fourth quarter.
Oh, that is true. We talked about how Lincoln's offense is like a NASCAR offense. Well, we've seen that from the we have to now call the Brandon offense the NASCAR offense because they have been just running for daylight in the third quarter on this Patriots defense.
That Lynx defense put that Lincoln NASCAR offense into a pit stop. Am I right?
Right.
Oh, I slay myself. Here's Colbeck looking, throwing. It is incomplete. So now it's decision time for the Lynx. It's going to be 4th and 4 from the 7.
So here's the tricky part in high school. You know, your field goal, and they're going to bring on the field goal team, I believe, is that a lot of times what happens, I shouldn't say a lot of times, sorry. Sometimes what happens is there's some botched snaps.
Seen it already today, yep.
That can turn over to turnovers here. I've seen games change in high school on field goal blocks. This is a tricky situation here.
25-yard attempt. Good snap. Good hold.
And it worked.
Boy, he's good, man. He is a good kicker.
Right down the pipe.
Yes, sir. So now it's 34-14. Brandon Valley has the lead.
So it's still a 3-score game. But the defense cannot let up. You cannot go into a prevent. You just can't, especially with that type of quarterback. There's a lot of time on this board, okay, with 11:52 to go in the football game. Remember, especially on the spread offense, their offense is made for this type of thing. Mm-hmm. They're not like we saw with Rapid City Central where they really run the ball a ton, or O'Gorman where their offenses aren't created to try to come back from a 3-score game. The Lincoln offense is a little bit different. They're going to put 4 receivers out, and that's their offense all the time, shotgun formation. It's going to be interesting to see if Coach Christensen, from the defensive standpoint for the Lynx, if he still continues to dial up blitzes, because he's trying to either bring 5 or 6, okay? Because there's, like we talked about in the first quarter, Kyle, when you make a spread offense, there's no tight end in there to block. So you can outman that offensive line and create a ton of pressure.
Well said. And nobody's going to take this kick, and thankfully for Lincoln, it bounces into the end zone for a touchback. So we're just 8 seconds into this fourth quarter. Brandon Valley has now scored 27 in a row after being down 14-7 and then snagging the lead back before the half. It's been a very satisfying second half for Brandon Valley, offensively and defensively. And it's really all been done up front on both sides of the ball.
It really has. And that's controlling the line of scrimmage. If you control the line of scrimmage, you're going on both sides of the ball, you're going to win a lot of football games.
First down, they're going to run it with Robinson. And Robinson will get 4. And actually, that was number 25, Angel Jersky. And he's still in the backfield. Second down and 6. This time they're going to throw. Thompson is going to eventually run with it, and he's going to be close to a first down. But he's not going to quite get there. It's going to be 3rd and 1. And now they're running hurry up for more than one reason. They need to get some points, and they need to get some points fast. They're going to try to push for it, and I think Thompson pushed his way into a first down, and they will move the sticks with 11 minutes to go.
And Lynx are okay with that first down. It's a run play. The clock stops. on when they moved the chains, but that clock is now ticking again, and it's under 11 minutes.
Thompson throws it across the middle of the field. Dangerous throw, but it works as Schaefer makes the catch at the 41. Move it ahead to the 42. First down for the Patriots.
But that throw, which wasn't a design to go there. That throw was created from the pressure from the Lynx defense. He was thrown off his back foot. It was a wobbly throw. It allowed the defense to get there real quick.
Yep.
And so we have a penalty on Lincoln.
Just an old false start.
Clock is moving. 10:30 to go in this ball game. 34-14. Your Lynx at home versus the Patriots.
Well, Lincoln, for the first time, has looked like they got some promise coming here on this drive as Thompson's going to run it. And just when I say that, Ryan Dahl, another big play from him, and now we've got a late flag. Aiden Lloyd at the bottom of that pile. I've called Aiden Lloyd's name more tonight than I think I have in any game this year. He has played really, really well at that left end position.
Well, and he's a speed rusher. They bring him down on third down a lot. So this game is right into his breadbasket. When they're going to throw the ball and spread the ball, his speed off the edge is going to create a lot. But one player we haven't called a lot.
Oh, it's going to be a penalty against Brandon Valley.
Parker Reed. I was just going to say his name.
Yeah.
We call him probably the best defensive end in the state. And we're not just being biased. We've seen him play a lot, and we've seen a lot of players play a lot, broadcasting games. And Parker Reed's a really good football player, and we haven't called his name a lot except for that negative penalty there.
It happens. From the 47-yard line, first down. Call it the 48. Thompson, watch out. Reed's coming this time, and he's going to be sacked. Owen Warren on the sack. Parker Reed was right behind him.
So what they have done, Owen Warren's not. He's a downhill middle linebacker. You know, he stuffs the run a lot. And what they have done with him is they have put him on the defensive line. You see, he's not at the linebacker level anymore. He's on the defensive line. So they've put extra defensive backs out and allowed Owen Warren to create pressure from the defensive line instead of blitzing him. They have him lining up on the line. That's another great call by Coach Christensen.
So Lloyd makes the stop on that play. It's going to be third down. Third and 16 from the 45. Thompson, lots of pressure. Pass is caught. And it is caught by number 17, Robert Hutchinson. And that's going to bring up a fourth and very manageable for Lincoln here, but the Lynx can really shut the door if they get a stop here.
That's the first time we've seen a bubble screen from this offense.
4th and 5. Shoot. I shouldn't say that. There's a flag on the play, and it's going to go against Brandon Valley.
And it's going to be Owen Warren jumping. He's a super aggressive kid. I think he transferred, I believe, from Watertown. I think. Is that where it was?
Maybe.
Yankton.
I've heard that, but I've only heard it from you. So.
Okay. Well, I don't know, but I'm taking a guess. I think I heard it somewhere. But he transferred here. He's a super aggressive linebacker, and now they have him up on the line like we talked about the prior play, and he just jumped off sides, and that's just the way it is. It's still going to be fourth down.
4th and a foot now instead of 4th and 5 and a foot. They just got to pick it up, and they do.
But one thing about this drive, Kyle, is what? It's methodical. They're not gaining big chunk of yards. The clock is churning down. They say, I think it's already been a little over 3 minutes on the play clock already on the scoreboard on this drive.
Now they're taking a deep shot down the right side. Ball's knocked away. Did he catch that?
He did.
Wow! The ball tipped off the hands of Jackson Hilton into the hands of Robert Hutchinson. That's going to be a touchdown for Sioux Falls Lincoln. And on just an absolute fluke of a play, Lincoln's claws back into this one.
That's great defense by Jackson Hilton. What are you going to do? You knock the ball down. It just falls into the hands of the receiver that's laying on the ground. And so that happens in these football games. Now it's tightened up a little bit with 18-19 to go. That big play by the Patriots. It's a 14-point game. And we'll see how the Lynx offense responds to that score.
Wow. Extra point is good. So Thompson hasn't really thrown the ball deep that much. He does there, and, I mean, what can you say? That you can't play it any better if you're Jackson Hilton. No way.
You're not going to fault Jackson Hilton on that. It's just one of those plays.
It's football.
It is what it is. And so you can't look at that you got to get that out of your system real quick. And now you got to go play football offensively, okay? And you got to keep what's true to you. What's true to you. Don't open up the playbook to a massive amount of pages here, okay?
Yep.
Open it up to page 1 again, okay? And what is that? That's running the football.
Yeah.
Okay, what running football is going to do is also going to eat that clock. When you have a 2-score game with a high-powered offense that sits on the other side of the football field, you have to drain this clock as much as you can. Now, the flip side of that, Lincoln's going to bring everybody. But they have been doing that all game. They haven't played any type of zone coverage, really.
Right.
Maybe a little bit of a box coverage, especially on Jackson Hilton. But they really haven't played a true zone, and so they've been playing a lot of man-to-man. Well, one thing that the Lynx did to get the ball into Jackson Hilton's hands was that reverse. Well, let's see if we can do it again maybe a little bit here. But keep it on the ground. Don't put the ball in the air. Keep it on the ground. But find a way to get the ball into your playmakers' hands. Just not Colback and Tate Johnson, but other players. Well, we got an onside kick here.
Onside kick attempt.
And
Lincoln saying that they have it.
We heard the coaching staff, too, up here. And they said no way.
Well, they said that Brandon Valley has the ball, so that's a big pickup. And the Lincoln coaches are incensed.
And we're going to see
now Lincoln, there's still a fight for it.
The pile still says, who knows?
Yeah, because I thought the referees pointed Brandon Valley ball. Now, not so much, but. Well, they're going to say the Lynx have the ball, and there's not a lot of people on that Lincoln sideline that agree.
Well, that was almost a hiccup, but it wasn't a hiccup. And so now you get back to Lynx football on the offensive side, run the ball. And you have a fullback in there in Wickersham, right behind him. Run to that left side and gain yards.
First down and 10, right from midfield. They're going to run it up the middle this time, and Johnson's going to get a yard.
So timeouts remaining, both teams with 3. Clock ticking down to 8 minutes left in the ball game.
I just don't understand how you can have an argument about who recovered a ball. If Brandon Valley's got the ball at the bottom of the pile, now that doesn't mean that they fell on it at first. That means they got it at the bottom of the pile, but that's part of the game. The game within the game is really whoever the referees see with the ball in their hands at the bottom of the pile is the team that's going to have it. So
it's not going to change the call.
Nope.
Lincoln's in a man-to-man coverage. Designed draw by Colback.
Here he goes, and he gets a first down across the 40 and down near the 37-yard line. So a big first down for this Lynx offense.
One thing about the coaching staff for the Lynx, the offensive staff, they've said, okay, so if you're going to stack the box when we only put one receiver out, okay, so you're going to bring 9 to 10 in the box, we're going to put 3 receivers out so you cannot put 9 to 10 in the box. So now you can only put 7 in the box. I like the chess match that's going on between these coaching staffs.
And by the way, the one that we're going to put out there is Jackson Hilton, who can beat you real quick. Here's a handoff to Johnson. Now that's what the Lynx are looking for. To the 30.
The true story, we talked about this, I remember way back in the Roosevelt game. We talked about what separates Tate Johnson from other running backs in this state is that he's always moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
It's never stopping. His legs are never stopping. You see that even when he's spinning, he's moving forward. There's never really a negative play by him, and that's what separates good running backs to great running backs.
Lynx got some options here at 2nd and 3. 6:18 to go. That's a good option. It's Johnson who moves the chains for the first down near the 25. So they're going to say, yep, first down to the 26-yard line. And the Lynx are trying to hammer this one shut. We're midway through the fourth quarter. Lynx had scored 27 in a row before Lincoln and number 17, Robert Hutchinson, caught a touchdown pass off the hands of Jackson Hilton.
So the clock's sitting. It was just at 8 minutes. Now we're at we're going to call a timeout by the Lynx.
No, it's too late. Now they might move this back. They haven't. They're going to check. And they're going to say it's a timeout because one of the referees threw a flag saying it was delay of game. But then the head referee correctly said that, no, Colbeck was calling a timeout before that. So, again, not a bad timeout.
No, not at all. But you do not want to use timeouts here. The worst thing you can do is stop the clock at any point. So they got to get the play faster. They got to get to the line of scrimmage faster. Usually you want to get to the line of scrimmage at about 12 seconds to 10, about that 12-second mark. And if you can at 15 seconds, so your quarterback can scan the defense, everybody can get set. You don't have to worry about the time clock that's happening on the field clock. So one thing to do here is they know you're going to try to run to the left. What about that designed bootleg by Colbeck? Okay,
run pass option, yeah.
Well, with him keeping it out to the right, that could work in their favor. We'll see.
5:39 to go. First down and 10. Lynx trying to end it here. Johnson will not stop rumbling. Inside the 20, down to the 15.
It's just really hard to tackle a smaller, stout running back that just doesn't stop churning his legs.
Right.
You might not remember this, but maybe you do. I certainly do. The San Francisco 49ers and Roger Craig back in the day.
I didn't personally see him, but I've seen him play, yes.
You're right. Always churning, high knees, always going, and that's what he was all about. And he was a tremendous running back, and Tate Johnson reminds me a lot of him.
Johnson up the middle, into the end zone. There's the nail that we were looking for. Touchdown, Brandon Valley. And the Brandon Valley Lynx hit the 40 mark. It's 40-21.
So far in this second half, wow. I think that's, we don't have the stats up here, but I think it's been one pass attempt.
That's probably close,
second
yeah.
half.
One or two at the most.
Boy, that running game and the offensive line. The hole was wide open for Tate there. He barely got touched.
Extra point is good, and Yeah, in the first half, let's be honest, other than the touchdown run, the running game was not looking great. And is that a culmination, or is that because of Tate Johnson? Is it because of Joe Colbeck? Is it because of the offensive line? Is it because of the adjustments they made at halftime? It's probably a mixture of all of them.
Yeah, I just, the defense hasn't really changed. They've been the Patriots have played the same defense. It's about adjustments. It has to be. It has to be from the coaching staff because, or like you said, a combination of a couple things. It's the adjustment that the coaching staff made at halftime, okay, in certain plays that they're calling from the run game, or I should say the coaching staff must have said, hey, got into the offensive line a little bit there.
Yeah.
At halftime and said, hey, you guys are a tremendous offensive line. There's a reason that this running back for years now has went for 1,000 yards a year.
Right.
Okay.
In 8 games.
Right. There's a reason for it. So go back to what we do the best and be a grinding football team. And that's what they did in the second half so far.
No doubt. And we love it. We love black and blue football. That's Brandon Valley football. That football is going to be black and blue on that one. That was another good kick from our guy, Zach Brummels, who's had a good day today.
He has. He's put a lot in the end zone.
He had a good season.
Yeah. So Lynx defense going to come back out to the field. They still can't let up. There's still... To me, I always say, if you're up by 30, you're good. But when it's only 3 scores and there's some time on the clock, you got to keep on playing aggressive as you can get out on, especially on every phase of the game.
Stranger things have happened. 5 wide receivers set. Thompson going to run to the 30, and he slides down before Parker Reed can get a shot at him.
I didn't know if he got out of bounds or not, but the clock's going to stop. Well,
I don't know. The clock's going.
Wow. They didn't even set. Okay.
I won't tell if you won't.
I won't.
Thompson throws it to the left side. That's an impressive throw across the grain, caught. And I believe that's number 3, Ty Schaefer.
And Sioux Falls fans, you may be I think, okay, I'm going to say I think again. Sorry, folks. There's an injury timeout on the field. But you're going to see Tommy Thompson in a Augustana Vikings uniform.
Oh, really?
I think.
Oh.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Somebody text me because I've been getting these texts correcting me. So to me, have you seen his best game tonight? No. Okay, from the passing standpoint, but that comes from a good coached and a good defensive scheme by the Lynx defense. Okay, that has eliminated a lot of what he can do through the air. So you've seen his legs a little bit in this game. We know he can throw the ball too, and so at the end of the day, you could be seeing this team again. I'm not calling this game that it's over, but the Lincoln Patriots have to adjust now to a team, and I don't know if teams have done this in the past this season, has put this much pressure on him. I'm talking, there was a ton of pressure, okay? And that's going to be a mimic that's going to happen. It's going to mirror. Other teams are going to do the same thing.
Yep, they all get the game tape.
The Patriots have to adjust their offense somehow to that because that's just not going to work, especially against the top 3 teams, I would say, Roosevelt, Harrisburg, and Brandon Valley.
Yeah.
Okay? To me, that's just not going to work. Especially if you run a spread offense, you got to get chunks of yards through the air too.
Right.
And you just haven't seen that from the Patriots offense tonight.
No doubts. And, even his touchdown throw was by far not his best throw of the night. On the contrary, in fact, and now he's going to be sacked by Owen Warren. Another big play from Warren, but I bet you 3 or 4 of his best passes got tipped away incomplete.
And they were rush throws.
Yeah.
They're just rushed.
Good throws still, though.
Yeah, but they're so rushed. And so that's not his true pass, but they're good passes.
Right.
But it allows your defense not to cover for an extra couple seconds.
4 minutes to play. Thompson going deep. There's another good throw, but it's just out of the reach of Ty Schaefer, incomplete.
And even that ball, he's double covered, but that receiver had a chance to catch that ball. And that's just a good throw. So you know that Thompson has it in him as a quarterback. He's a senior. And so, but hats off. I know your defense never wants to give up 21 points, but remember, dial it back a little bit into the first half, in the first quarter. Special teams played a crucial role in why they got at least one of their scores, because the defense was put inside the 9-yard line on that botched punt by the Lynx.
Not going far is this Patriots offense on that play. He's tackled for a 3-yard gain.
And every touchdown hasn't been easy. Especially 2 touchdowns haven't been easy for the Patriots, and that's what you want to make it in going against a spread offense. You never want to make it easy for them. But the other thing is that the Lynx are really tackling well as a formed defense tonight, and they're all getting to the ball, and that's a good thing.
And Lincoln's going to take a timeout here with 3:20 to go. And what has been a very, very impressive performance by the Brandon Valley Lynx, who lead it by 20. And they were technically the underdog in this game. Now it's high school football, so there's no point spreads, obviously. But Brandon Valley was ranked 4th. Lincoln was ranked 3rd. So in a way, this was, according to the polls, a bit of an upset, but a game that's really just been dominated by Brandon Valley. Even when they were down 14-7, it felt, I can't speak for you, but it felt to me like the Lynx were the better team in this one.
And so far they have been. And so, but we talked about in the pregame is that when these two teams are as tight as they are, especially in the standings, and you look at both of them from a football standpoint, organizational standpoint, anything, is they're pretty even, okay, this season. And when you have a quarterback that's highly touted on the Patriots side, you're always going to say, well, they even become evener, okay? But we gave the Lynx 3 points. Remember,
right.
from the home standpoint.
Yeah.
And so, but the Lynx have really performed well at every level except for the botched punt.
Yeah.
Early in the ballgame.
They passed the eye test tonight. 4th down and 8. Pressure. Thompson going for it all. Caught. Well, they're going to call it a catch, I think.
They're
not.
The offense.
No, never mind. They said incomplete. I didn't see a referee give any signal on that one.
So, again, I know everybody's watching downfield to see who's open and stuff like that, but you saw Tommy Thompson. He wasn't comfortable again. He was pushed outside the pocket. A right-handed quarterback never wants to be pushed if you're throwing the ball to the left side.
Yeah.
Your feet can never get straightened out usually on that. And so the pressure created that. And I'm telling you, teams going forward are going to do this to the Patriots.
So 1st down from midfield, 3 minutes and 11 seconds to go. And again, the ball was on the snap, not handled by Colbeck.
And that's the second time tonight.
Yeah, I think that happened a couple weeks ago as well.
So you have to clean that up a little bit in practice somehow.
It's cold out there,
Right. I was going to say, sometimes it's just cold. So the clock is burying itself down to about 2:30 to go. Lynx up by 20.
Here goes Peyton Egan with a nice run. And that's going to bring up 3rd and short for the Lynx.
And I don't think Colbeck's in the game anymore. I think number 8.
Is that Lucas Slack?
Yeah, number 8, Lucas Slack. The sophomore's in the game now. So your starters, Tate Johnson, Jackson Hilton, and a host of other players are on the sideline for the Lynx.
Boy, it's gonna hurt to see Tate Johnson go, but I'm excited for this Peyton Egan young man. He's gonna get the call again.
Well, it's the running back position for the Lynx is really, to be honest with you, there's been a lot of. I mean, Braden Peterson. We can go back to. We can keep on. I mean, we've had a lot of great quarterbacks too. Don't get me wrong, and so, but the running backs for the last few years at least have really been home run hitters in the last 5 years. Let's just say 5.
Yeah, very true.
And so, hats off to that coaching staff too, the running backs coach, and the offensive staff for developing these running backs.
4th and 1, and Egan's able to put this one on ice.
And the offensive line coach, because you're only as a running back, you're only as good as your offensive line.
Right.
And so the offensive line's been tremendous, and especially tonight. That offensive line's really made the difference in controlling the line of scrimmage, and defensively also. Defensively, they won the line of scrimmage in a big, big way.
No doubt about it. Special teams, offense, and defense, other than one gaffe on special teams, but we won't talk about that.
Yeah.
This was a game thoroughly dominated, especially in the second half, by the Lynx. And I think the Lynx offensive line as a whole is going to get my MVP of the night, because I know it's only supposed to be one guy, but they deserved it tonight because I thought they played outstanding.
I 100% agree with you. That's the reason that the scoreboard is where it is, and the defensive line also. And hats off to the coaching staff for making I shouldn't say massive adjustments, whatever adjustments they made at halftime, because it worked. And at the end of the day, W's means it worked.
So the Lynx, who are currently ranked 4th, I think their fortunes will be turning because Lincoln was ranked 3rd not for long. Your final score, the Brandon Valley Lynx 41, the Lincoln Patriots 21. A great win for your Lynx. For Ken McEwen, I'm Kyle Roque. Good night.
Have a great weekend.
Our Buy Brandon campaign is a way for the chamber to put some excitement into our residents and our community about how important it is to spend your dollars here in Brandon.
The Buy Brandon campaign is very important for the city of Brandon. Here in South Dakota, most cities rely heavily on sales tax, much more than in other states. Without sales tax, we wouldn't be able to operate. You wouldn't have people plowing your snow. You wouldn't have a police department. You wouldn't have parks or park improvements. So it is essential that people buy in town. The more you buy in town, the more local sales tax comes into our coffers, the more things that we can do to improve your quality of life in Brandon.
Last year's Buy Brandon campaign went excellent. We did really good with the sales tax revenue, which now this year we get to reap the rewards of everyone buying Brandon.
Sales tax revenue was a little over $3.3 million last year. It was an increase over the previous year, and we have continually increased each year. We use that money for park improvements, such as the Sunrise Playground surfacing, the transit bus system. Last year we did also buy a new bus. Our original bus was getting aged and old. We also use that for debt service and some equipment for different departments. With the money we bought a plow truck, which helps plow our streets in the winter months, and we also bought a loader.